Mm. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Niranjan.
Niranjan, good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening, everyone.
Okay, so we
Sir, good evening. I will join in the video in another 2 minutes.
okay, all right. We will just give it a couple of seconds and get started.
ஹலோ ஹலோ ஆமாம் இல்லை மாஸ்டர் நான் அதான் சரி உங்கள் நம்பர் தானே செக் பண்ணுறதுக்கு
Okay, so get started with the day. So I hope you had a good, restful weekend and are energized for week 2 of OB. I don't see any faces on the video yet, so I cannot say if you're energized or not, but I'd like to assume that you are. Okay, good. Now I can see some faces, but not all. But anyhow, how are you guys doing?
Good so far.
Okay. So far means after this, after I start talking, it's going to come crashing down or what?
Not about today's session, but just the week. Till now, it's going
okay.
fine. Yeah. I'm excited for our class. I logged in almost 5 minutes back. It was just me and Farida. So you know that I'm excited.
Yeah, my bad. I was trying to log in as well, but I'm actually at a different location than my usual location today. So it took me a while to just get connected to its Wi-Fi and stuff. So anyhow, okay. All right. Hi, Antapriya. Hi, James, Deepthi, Farida, Mati, Parthiban, Sheena. Who else do
Hello.
we have? That's it? Okay. So quick review from last week's class on Saturday. We covered motivation theories. Anybody cares to talk about what did we cover on the motivation theories? Which theories did we cover?
Motivation, two-factor, theory X and Y, and needs. Yeah, needs.
Needs theory.
Maslow's.
Yeah, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right. Also, we tried to define motivation a bit. So, what do you reflect upon what motivation is? What is motivation? Who wants to take a shot? James, what is motivation?
Yes, sir. Just
It does not have to be
It,
it does not have to be the theoretical definition or the textbook definition. According to you, what is motivation? That's good enough.
yeah, the thing which drives us to move forward.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect and bang on, I think I've been saying this from class 1 that some of the most scientific textbook definitions are absolutely great. They are needed and they are very useful. But I think the definitions that we understand the most and the definitions that are usually more correct than anything else is the one that we feel about and the ones that we create out of our own words. So when I say definition, don't bother about trying to get the textbook definition. Yeah, it's absolutely relevant. No disrespect to anyone, but what comes straight out of your intuition is far more important, to me. So we had agreed on some homework. So very quickly, I think the name of the author and the key criticisms. Some of you were supposed to do, and some of you were supposed to compare the HR practice that you have within your organization with one of the motivation theories. So just a quick show of hands. Have you done it? Not done it? Done it? Okay.
You have done it.
Everybody's done it. Okay.
Who has done it?
Sorry, Dipti.
Sorry, we were group one. So group one has done it.
Okay, great. So Rama, James, Anandapriya, Inba, and Dipti. Any of you, who's the author of Hierarchy of Needs?
So we were given the
For
other
us,
problem. For us, it was the policy, and we had to compare it
yeah.
with one of the four things.
Oh, was it? Okay. I think
Yes,
I switched. Sorry.
yes, yes.
Okay. So, okay, go ahead. Group one.
The HR policy.
Yeah, and very
Okay.
quickly, and then yeah, couple of
Okay, we have
few
basically
lines about.
presented a slide. Okay. So we
Wow.
discussed, we had a call to discuss about, we chose on leave policies because that's common to every organization. So when looking at different policies and what is relevant to all of us, so we logged in on leave policy. So we took time to understand what are the policies that exist in each of the organization. And then we spoke to each other, and then we divided it into hygiene factors and motivation factors. And we had a conversation about why it's a hygiene factor and why it's a motivation factor. And we basically created a slide that has a tabular column that divides these factors into two. That's
Okay.
what we did. Shall I share it?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
Please.
Inba. So all
Okay.
five of us have spent 2 hours.
Yes.
We connected on Sunday, so 10 hours of discussion. Inba is just going to present to you.
Am I impressed or am I impressed? I'm very, very impressed by this. Thank you. I mean, I really appreciate you. I was not expecting a slide, but that shows effort. So thank you very much. Over to group one. Inba, are you leading? So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and any of the team members can pitch in while we are doing it. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at leave policies, and so these are the hygiene factors that we saw, that we see it as essential for every employee to feel like they're not dissatisfied. At the same time, that doesn't lead to satisfaction, right? So we looked at casual leaves, we looked at sick leaves, we looked at earned leaves, maternity and paternity leaves. So these paternity leaves varies from each organization, the number of days. Bereavement leave, adoption leave, abortion or miscarriage leave, well-being leave. Special well-being leave over here mentions if you have a psychological condition, you need a certificate for it for a week of for a span of 1 week. It can be aware. Special
10 days.
disability leave basically means that there are any special instances of accidents, something that requires immediate medical attention, then that special disability leave. Transfer leave, we have put it in both the areas. I'll tell you why in the end. Okay, so these we think is the basic factors that a person needs to not feel dissatisfied. At the same time, it doesn't lead to satisfaction. Over here, motivation factors, we are seeing it's privileged leave. There's mandatory leave that an employee can take for a period of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which differs from organization to organization. When it comes to maternity and paternity leave, it is a hygiene factor, but the access and being able to avail it, we see as a motivation factor. For example, in my organization, for a person to avail maternity or paternity leave, they have to be in the organization for a period of 90 days, or else they can't avail it. So that is not if that was there, that a person can avail it any period of time, because it's something that we can't plan, right? So that we see it as a motivation factor. Annual leave, sabbatical leave, exam leave. If an employee is wanting to upgrade themselves in any course that they have, they can take this exam leave depending on the period and what course they are doing. Flexi or optional leaves that a person can take. Voluntary scheme without pay. If they are, can someone explain the voluntary scheme? I forgot.
It was for the period of 3 to 5 years. This was specifically in Rama's organization. And depending upon the need, it can be availed for a block of 3 to 5 years, subject to the hierarchy approval.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then national paid leaves. If an employee is working on the national holidays, they'll be twice if they do work on these days. And loss of pay, basically, a person can be in the same organization, but due to personal reasons cannot work for a period of time, which means they have the job, but they're not getting paid for it. So over here, why we feel it is a motivation factor is because of the job stability and security, because they can come back to the organization. There is no need to be like, I don't have a job or I can't return to the same organization. Due to this factor, we thought it's a motivation factor. Then extraordinary leave, which is also someone, please.
A period of 30 days. It's just like, in case there are certain reasons which may not be enlisted in the usual leaves. So then an extraordinary leave can be taken up for a period of 30
Correct.
days.
Yeah, board exams. Oh, that's for 6 months. Okay. So this is extraordinary leave. Transfer leave, why we put it in hygiene and motivation factors, that when it comes to company initiated transfer, right? For a person to go and settle down, the company is offering a set number of leaves, say 2 to 3 days for them to settle down. That we feel as a hygiene factor because the company is initiating this process and they need time to settle down. Whereas if it's accompanied with certain benefits, then we are seeing it as a motivation factor. So that's how I put it on both the sides. And in Deepti's organization, there's work from home option for 6 months. Why we have put it as a motivation factor? It is a process to avoid leaves. This is given to people who have, for example, parents with kids who have board exams, some serious surgery, or they have to take care of parents who are very old. In these circumstances, this work from home for 6 months is provided. So this is the policy and this is how we have divided it. So, yeah.
Very good, very good. Round of applause to this group for doing a pretty good job of evaluating, leaves using the two-factor theory. In fact, if you were to apply even the Maslow's hierarchy of needs just to a leave policy, at least a base level, you will find that the lower order needs that you have are what you call sort of roughly fit into hygiene factors. The lower order needs, right? Sick leave. If I'm sick, I cannot go to work, or I should not be expected to go to work. So you would see that in Maslow's hierarchy of needs also, which is the first the first theory we looked at, there is a significant bearing of everything you have on the left-hand side here, right?
Yeah.
And then as you go up the ladder, even in Maslow's, as you go up the ladder, you find that things like voluntary schemes without pay. Now, at what point in your hierarchy of needs would something like without pay, leave without pay come in? It would only come in when your lower order needs are being completely satisfied. It's not going to come at the starting, but maybe after your lower order needs are identified, then you may be okay with the idea that, I would probably like to pursue a hobby and maybe I'm okay to take leave from my organ, not lose my job, retain my job, but 1 month I'll go off without pay. Now, if the organization is okay for things like as part of the leave policy, if the company has a LOP concept and is flexible about it, then you will see things like leave without pay, which could also take the form of sabbatical leave, exam leave, whatever you wish to call it. Then it becomes a motivating factor for me. Like in the US, people get day off for something called the jury leave. If you've been, if you are aware of the US legal system, they follow something called a jury. Like if the court calls you to be part of the jury in the US, then the company can give you something called jury leave. Only if you're called to be a jury in a court proceeding. You also have something called military off in some nations where military service is compulsory. But all of that comes as you go up the, hierarchy ladder. Okay, good. Who from the second group would like to? share author names. Of course, I think you would have looked at. Key criticisms is what we were focused on. So any key criticisms that you would like to share? Kishore, Mahati, Parthiban, Shachi, want to take a shot at this?
Actually I've done the criticism for theory X and theory Y and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I can go on that, and then the rest of the
Yes.
two theories can be taken by someone. So firstly, theory X and theory Y was written, or composed by Douglas MacGregor. And so it's basically a two contrasting theory where theory X is basically assumes employees are lazy, they dislike work, they don't like to take responsibility, and theory Y assumes that people are self-motivated, they enjoy work, and they seek responsibility. Now, the criticism is that real behavior is often a mix of both. Like, you cannot just compare that, oh, okay, this manager or the management style completely falls under theory X or theory Y. Like, a manager or a company could be having traits of both the theories, like theory X and theory Y. So it's not as black and white as this theory is supposed to be. This theory lacks empirical evidence also. And for the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this theory suggests that humans have 5 levels of needs progressing in a hierarchy, and the lower needs, basically the safety or hygiene needs, need to be met first, and then comes the other higher needs. And the criticism is that it lacks scientific validation again. Secondly, people don't always follow the hierarchical order. Like, if the safety needs are met, they might want to directly want something else which is not in that same order of the hierarchy of needs. So it's not, again, this is not as black and white as it seems. And needs even change over time. Like, right now I feel that I need this. After a year I could be wanting something else. Again, hierarchy is not in place. So yeah.
Okay, good, very good. Thank you, Shachi. Round of applause for Shachi for sharing that as well. Remember, the criticisms that we look at do not negate the theory in any way. All they do is that at some point a theory loses the same relevance that it had at the time of its birth. It just tends to be replaced by something. It's like, like one generation after the other, right? When the new generation comes, they start something new, they take something old, and they start something new with a mixture of new and old. That's what happens with theories as well. So criticism is also important in the sense that I think it helps you to learn, I guess, a lot more than when there were no criticisms. Anyone else wants to take a shot? There were 4 people in this team. Okay, all right. So let's jump into today's session. Give me 1 second and okay. Okay. So we spoke about some of the early theories the other day, and one of the things that we have been saying all the time is that at least about 100 years, or actually more than that, but what is record? Sorry, Mahati, no. If you were trying to say something, you were not. Sorry. You want to take a shot at it again, Mahati? Or maybe I don't know. Just
am I audible now?
yeah. Now you are. Sorry, I think I thought nobody was speaking, but yeah, please go ahead. Are you sharing
Yeah.
something about? Yeah, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, just I was talking about the hierarchy of needs. It's basically a theory of human motivation. So yeah, in that theory, it basically says that the psychology and the psychology needs come first at the starting, and then it progresses to the self actualization. But its criticism is like logically the psychological needs can come first and self actualization can come last, but it can be and vice versa as well. So it's not necessarily which one should come first. So it's the criticism of that hierarchy of needs theory.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you for sharing, Mati. A round of
Yeah,
applause for Mati
thank
for
you.
doing this. Okay. All right. So we went through what we went through so far, namely hierarchy of needs, or even XY, the needs theory by itself, or the hygiene motivation, theory. They're all called early theories for two reasons. One is the fact that they've been there for at least 50 or 60 years, or even more than that. I mean, Maslow's, as far as I remember, is one of the oldest theories that has existed, and therefore they're called some of the early theories. But today, especially after the advent of technology, which happened in 90s, 80s, 90s, in India maybe a little later, and then second bit, of course, is globalization, when companies started functioning as multinational companies in in countries. Three, with access to information easily. So let's say the rise of Google, where you have access to everything. And then finally, four, which is a life-changing event for most of us, not most of us, everyone, which is COVID, right? Now, these events over the last 20, 25 years have led to the rise of newer theories of motivation. And COVID, of course, is a very recent phenomenon. A lot of research will be out eventually about how COVID has affected motivation levels and what that could mean. But we will have to take into account that when the research comes out after a few years, COVID will be one of the defining moments that has impacted how motivation occurs in organizations. So contemporary theories essentially deal with what motivation is in the context of all these new updates that have happened to our globalizing world or technology related world. At the same time, the foundation elements of motivation don't change, even though we are talking of modern theory. So the need for motivation, or the definition of motivation, or the desire for motivation, or the causes of motivation don't significantly change even now. They continue to remain the same, whether it's the early theories or the modern theories. So now tell me, from your own experience. Remember, I think in the last class we opened up a lot about maths and subjects and school and everything. Reflecting back, and that day we spoke about, okay, why certain subjects did not excite me enough, why certain subjects excited me a little more. Now rethink about it once again, right? Let's take the same example of maths. Uh, and now let's rethink about when a certain subject excited you. Some of you, maths excited, some of you, like me, chemistry excited, social science excited. What was the reason to feel good about a certain subject in your mind? Why were you so motivated for attending a particular class of a particular subject? just give it a rethink. Think deeper. Why were you so
The
interested
way
in
they are
maths?
teaching to us, the way the faculty or someone, like how they are teaching to us. So that is also make us to give more motivation to attend the classes
Okay.
or to like the subject.
Okay. All right. What else?
I understood
What?
what has been taught that somewhere made me feel capable, and that made me feel like I can do it because it made sense to me. And in the process, I'm learning and I'm getting something back that says that I'm doing well, a feedback or appreciation that is kind of motivating me to go forward.
Okay. What else?
When we are doing that in practical, when we are applying it.
For me, when we are getting the results good, then we will be motivated. What we are executing, either in a max or it may be when the result comes good, when the marks comes good, definitely it will motivate us to get more on it.
Okay.
There's a benefiting factor that comes in our mind because we are benefited because of that learning.
Okay. I'm just making notes as you speak and trying to classify it for a certain reason. So go on. I'm just making notes as you speak.
If say for example, if a subject or relates to us, it makes like more engaging to learn. So that's the also reason for motivation in order to like gain more knowledge in that. And yeah.
Okay.
So
my inclination, maybe a creative approach where I could, get my inner enjoy something I feel excited about what I'm doing. So the subject which could make me feel happy.
Learning through
Niranjan, would you
visualization.
mind?
Sorry, go ahead, Mahati.
Learning through visualization, so that I can grasp the knowledge, the thing more effectively.
Okay. All right. Yes.
When it's
Somebody else
easy
was
to
also saying.
understand, when it's easy to understand, it will also get motivated for me to learn more.
Niranjan, I just dropped off. I've reconnected. So could you please repeat the question?
Yeah. The question, Sheena, was what we are just trying to address is when last class we spoke about our favorite subject in school. What was the reason why it was our favorite subject? So we are just rethinking that question once again in order to move forward with today's class. Okay.
So for
Sheena, you
me,
want? Yeah.
it's because, yeah. So for me, I get motivated because of the faculty, like the way the people are taking the session. So I used to get motivated for that subject. For example, my arts teacher. So if I'm seeing my arts teacher, so they usually have an expression in her face on So that actually attracts me. So I'll be more motivated by seeing. I just wanted to be attend her class. So it depends on person how they are, taking the sessions, taking the class, and that motivates me to take that particular subject as a favorite subject.
Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do now is I've written this down. I just need to find a way to send it over to you.
I can also
Farida,
share my input.
You can
Ranjan.
put it on chat, Ranjan.
okay, 1 second.
I will download it and put it on the group for someone who's not present today.
Okay, I have just sent it to you, Farida, if you could put it.
On WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so while we wait for it, so what I've done basically is, I looked at all the motivation theories. I have tried to look at something that is what I find to be extremely common in all the theories. So everything that you've just shared with me, right? I have put it out in this message that I think should shortly be up in our chat message. One of the interesting things, one of the interesting things about all motivation theories, even whether it's the early ones or the contemporary or the modern ones, is it tries to segregate between causes of motivation that are intrinsic versus causes of motivation that are extrinsic. And it says that both are important, but it's just that it tries to differentiate between what comes as a cause of motivation inside of me or from my, from within, and what are the things that are outside of me. Okay. So now, is it up there? No. Okay. Yeah. So now, one concept I want to share with you is that if what I am or what I have as a cause of motivation, or the degree to which the cause of my motivation is consistent with my own interests and core values, the likelihood of motivation is going to be high. So I will repeat. The degree to which I have some core interests and values. I like X, Y, Z, A, B, C. These are my interests in life. And then I have some goals in life that I want to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If X, Y, Z and A, B, C match closely, then the likelihood of me being motivated is high. If X, Y, Z and A, B, C are far apart, or the further they are apart, then the degree of my motivation is likely to be that much more lesser. With me so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's go back to the maths example. And probably, this time, we will retire the maths example after this, and then we'll take newer examples, because I think we have done maths to death. It's going to take its revenge on me someday. Take the maths example. Some of you said you really liked to do maths, and therefore you liked going to the maths class. Let us say that maths was not part of your core interest. And interest, at least to begin with, let us not talk about results and all of that. Let's just talk about when I look at numbers, I love them. Like in my case, when I look at numbers, I used to get very nervous. Okay. When I looked at balance sheets, even today, I get very nervous. But for someone, I don't know, James, you were good at maths, right? When you looked at numbers, what did you feel?
Yeah, I thought it was very easy for me comparatively to other subjects.
I will fly down to Chennai and I will, like, you have to treat me or something. Like, right? When I looked at numbers, and for a lot of people who said, maths was not like a very favored subject or whatever, numbers made you feel nervous, correct? Those of you who are on my side and not on James's side. So if that was the case, no power on earth will make me like the subject, right? So again, the degree to which my interests are equal to my goals. My interest is I like numbers. My goal is I need to go and get great scores in maths. The more this is close enough, the likely that I'll be motivated. Farida, did you get my message by any chance?
Yeah, I have posted on the group where the students are there. You want it here?
Yeah. So then I can display it on the screen because I'll use it for discussion. Sorry. Yeah.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay. So the more equal it is, the better. Now the concept here is results and all come very important. They come much later though, because it's only in our system. It's only when you have exams and all when you get results. But it's when you are performing a subject. Now probably we'll move on from a subject to a sport. Everybody plays some sport here, or at least, right? Some sport you have exposure to. Cricket, I'm sure people like because we are in India, but any other sport that you like?
Badminton.
Throw ball.
Badminton, throw ball. What else?
Football.
Football. Okay.
Sailing.
What is that?
Sailing.
Sailing. Wow. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Sailing. Okay. So Rama, why sailing?
It more kind of nature. You play with the nature, and it's green sport, and a lot of fun in the water. So I like that sport.
When you get on, and I'm assuming if you like it, which means you might be doing it sometimes also.
Yes, I'm doing that. Getting for that.
When you get on and when you start the process of sailing, are you thinking of the final outcome or are you thinking about the process?
It's about the process.
What does the process entail?
You set the sail and then put the boat in the water, and then navigate through the winds, and then you have to do the tagging and everything, and then you have to just go to the circle and then come back. There will be a lot of in between, a lot of challenges that has to be met.
And what is the final outcome of sailing for you? Like, how do you end the process?
You ultimately feel good, and you get a lot of stress being relieved, and be completely fresh, and some kind of a physical fitness that will also be gained.
Okay, all right. I think someone said badminton, right? Who said badminton?
Sheena.
So why badminton, Sheena?
That is something that it's also a physical form. Like I used to do more practice, and it's an interest. I feel that's a little feminine game for me. And rather than running here and there, I feel that the court and playing each other, so that feels gives some energy for me. So, and I like to play that in the court and all these things. So nothing much. It's an interest. That's it.
Okay, all right. Why throw ball? Inbaz, throw ball.
Yeah, throw ball, I feel like because it's I can play with the team. I feel like it involves a lot of teamwork where each person needs to collaborate and coordinate and be on the same page. And everyone can take leads when it comes to throw ball. It's not one person because we have to switch the serving and everything. So yeah, and I feel like yeah, that's why there's nothing specific as such after this, other than this.
Okay, all right. Why football? Mahati, you said football?
Yes. So it basically, as Inba said, it's basically about a teamwork that we get connected with people, get along with people, and it's basically our full body gets exercised. Don't need to go to gym and all for workout and all. So, and it's basically an interest and a motivating factor.
Okay, all right. Finally, I cannot be accused of leaving cricket out. So anybody wants to talk about cricket and why cricket?
Yes. Yeah, I know
Yes.
it very well. I am a player. That's what. That's the main
Please go
reason. That's the main reason. I am a player. I'm a wicket keeper in my team, in my company official team. League matches we used to play. I know it very well. That's I'm having very much interest on it. The thing, if I'm doing it, that it helps me to make me feel fit. As a fitness part, I'm a wicket keeper. I used to make sit-ups. If a 20 overs match, I used to do more than 120 sit-ups in a match. That it helps me to make me more fit, and that's the if I'm getting more catches or doing something stumping, the appreciation that what I'm getting from my teammates, not only from the teammates, from the outside audience also, it makes more motivated me to do more effort, to make more effort and do more well.
Very good, very good. Okay. Now, if I have to very quickly summarize what I heard from you, right? 4 or 5 games you narrated. And when I asked you why you like this particular game, not one of you said because because I like to win or because I get a reward. None of you said that. All of you, what did you say? Here's what you said. You said the process, the feeling, the fact that you can play with the team, the fact that you know it very well. Maybe it's about fitness. It's about teamwork, right? And two, three of you said nothing specific, nothing specific. And I see that to be a good way, because what you're trying to say is, I like to play this game for the sake of playing it. I'm not expecting any major reward, award, nothing out of it. No compensation, no pay, nothing. All of that may happen. Now, if you're playing for the college, if you're playing for the state, if you're playing for a group, and if there is some kind of a competition, of course, there'll be some award, reward, some appreciation, prize, whatever, all of that is okay. But none of you, and I, obviously did not prod you for this, but none of you said, I like to sail because at the end of the day, I'm going to get an award. No, none of you said that. So that is another concept that you just need to put a pin on, and we'll try and close it all up later, how, based on how this conversation goes. Because what you're trying to basically say here is that the effort you put in playing this game, it just makes you happy. It is so pleasurable that simply the act of sailing or simply the act of playing badminton, cricket, volleyball, football, throw ball, just doing that makes you happy. The result and all come much later, because result only comes after you've played whatever XYZ, somebody else plays, there's competition, blah, blah, blah. But when the work effort that is pleasurable due to the work itself, when that is the situation, that is called motivation. You are motivated to play just because just the act of playing makes you feel happy. Okay, so what did we say initially? We said the degree to which my personal interest is equal to my goal is motivation. Now we are saying if the work that I'm doing makes me happy just because I'm doing it, that is also motivation. Now, applying this to the workplace, specifically when you're doing work, we usually relate it to some kind of a reward at the workplace. Normally, the equation given to work is if I'm doing great work, I need great reward. Interestingly and very contradictorily, research says that when work that is making you happy, so first assumption is that your work should make you happy. If your work is not making you happy, then you're not going to be motivated enough. But let us say that your work is making you happy. You're very motivated to do the job, the task. You're very motivated to do it. And happiness, is it internal or external?
Internal.
Internal.
Some of you are thinking. You think happiness is external?
It's internal.
External can be a reason as to why you feel happy, but it's about how you attach meaning to it. So it would be internal in the end.
Internal, right? Maybe the source of happiness is the ice cream, but I am happy looking at that ice cream, right? So therefore, happiness still has to come from within. Now, if the source of my happiness is within, which means it's intrinsic. Now, when I put a extrinsic reward to an intrinsic source of happiness, it says motivation can go down. So to give you an organizational example, and this can be very, I don't know, very scandalous to say, when you use merit increments to pay for performance, research is saying it can actually reduce performance. Interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Why? Why? Just think about it. Take a guess. It's okay. I mean,
No, actually, if we are giving a that motivates some fews and it demotivates others, those who are not get the maximum.
no, I'm saying if we are talking about your personal motivation.
Oh. No, actually, we are expecting something, but what we have had means that if there is any difference, then definitely it will be affect our motivation.
But if that were true, when I asked you about sailing, badminton, throw ball, none of you said, I am playing to win. I'm playing to get an award. I'm excited about the award I will get in the end. All of you said the process excites you, the feeling of it excites you, the fact that you can play with the team, it excites you. None of us spoke about rewards. Then why is it that as soon as intrinsic source of motivation transfers to an extrinsic source, the motivation actually reduces? So
Are we
we don't need,
depersonalizing it?
okay, possible, close enough.
Our
That
intrinsic
affects
should
our
not be the same for the manager intrinsic. So he should also feel that he is done. So
So your intrinsic is the manager's extrinsic, maybe.
yes.
Yeah.
anything which affects the monetary, anything which affects the when it comes to finance things and all, obviously in office, because we all work for money. Of course, motivation is also required. So money is also kind of motivation. When it affects that, obviously that is also leads to this, our motivation go down when it comes to office culture.
Okay, so I'll ask some follow-up questions here. When you say, I like all these games because of these reasons, when you say the process, the feeling, the fact that I can play with the team, which means I like to play with the team, where is all of this coming from? And who has the maximum control on the process, the feeling, the ability to play with the team? Where does the control lie? Where does the locus of control lie on all the reasons you gave with respect to games?
Within myself.
Within yourself?
Yeah.
Others, what do you think? Where is the locus of control about all the reasons why you like those games?
My inner feelings.
Correct? So locus of control for everything with respect to the games is within you. Full control you have on how you feel. Right?
Everyone in the team should also feel the same.
Sorry.
Everyone from the team also should feel the same.
Right. Coming to
If it is
that.
a team.
Coming to that. Now tell me with respect to pay, merit increment. Who has the locus of control?
The company and
Okay.
maybe our performance and many other factors actually.
Like what?
Like the company's budget as well, so many other things. You could have outperformed, but you still won't get the merit increase if they
The
have
bell
budget.
curve,
So many external factors.
the bell curve should be matched.
I would say the metrics, we have a operation metrics which has been defined. Based on that we are getting this increment, means that appraisal on yearly basis. So this being defined by the client and in the internal stakeholders. So if we are not able to meet it, and that affects the performance and as well as the appraisal. So
Somewhere does
Manager.
it? Yeah,
Manager
somewhere
is also. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead.
I was saying locus control for pay decision also lies with your manager, correct?
Yeah, and how they perceive it also.
How they perceive it.
Somewhere I feel like when you asked the previous question, right, why motivation is decreasing, somewhere I feel like there is a lot of responsibility and pressure placed on the employee. So it becomes more about the result and not about the process, which also lowers your ability to enjoy the process because you're not mindful of what you're feeling and how curious you are, but just to meet the end result. So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. So in this example, locus of control for pay is budget, manager, finance, organization strategy, X, Y, Z. Can you give me one thing with respect to pay which has internal locus of control? Is there anything with respect to pay that is internally controlled by you as an individual?
How satisfied we could be from the pay we get.
Correct. That is the outcome. But at the beginning, whether you get a 10% increment or a 100% increment, is there anything that you directly control in it from your side?
Performance, how we work.
Correct. But performance is one factor, which is your own performance, right? The pay decision is not yours. I'm purely talking about the pay decision.
So Niranjan, because with regards to a question, like I came across a scenario in my previous appraisal where the self-rating. So one of the factor which attributes for my rating, self-rating. So how you evaluate yourself on the metrics that you met and not met. So that is also give a weightage for my appraisal. So that is something that I have rated myself for out of 5, 3 or 2, there is a weightage for that. 3 or 2 or 4. So that is something also yields to my, performance metrics, So self-rating.
Understood. My question still is, your performance, yes, you've done an exceptionally good job. You've rated yourself appropriately, whatever that is, on a scale of 5, or if it's a absolute rating, whatever it is. My question is, in the end, we say compensation matters. Correct, it does. My question is the pay related decision. What is in your locus of control when it comes to the pay decision, the number on the paper? How much do you control? Differentiate between contributing and controlling. With your performance, you're contributing to that decision. My question is, how much are you controlling?
No, we can't control. That's
Right?
not in our control.
Conversely, in the previous example, the feeling that when I play badminton, I feel good. Are you 100% controlling that feeling? The feel good factor of
Yes.
playing badminton, 100% is in your control?
Feeling is always 100% in our control.
I mean,
Despite
feeling or whatever you feel about the process, the happiness you derive out of playing with a team, the happiness you derive out of feeling fit, is that what percentage of control do you have around that feeling? 100%? What percentage of pay related decision do you have control on a scale of 0 to 100? 0? Everyone agrees it's 0? So the concept I want to leave you with before we just take our 2-minute adjustment break, the reason why you feel happier with internal causes of motivation compared to external causes of motivation is because the control has shifted from you to someone else. The control that you had on how you look at things, how you feel about it, what you can do about it, right? Like in the sailing example, you can decide, okay, this is where I will start, this is where I will end, or whatever it is. You are deciding pretty much everything. You have full control on the process. So any process, physical, mental process that you look at, the control you exercise over it is proportional to the level of motivation you have about it. Similarly, when the control is fading, like in the case of pay, budget, manager, process, system, HR, I mean, everything is outside the locus of your control. And therefore, if you were to connect this with the hygiene motivation theory, it tells you that compensation is a hygiene factor. Compensation is a hygiene factor. Compensation is not necessarily a motivation factor. So I am not saying that it doesn't matter how much you get paid, you will be happy. No. All I'm saying is, even if you're paid well, I mean, let's say you're paid double the average or you're paid 10 times the average, it will only be a cause of hygiene happiness for you, not motivation happiness. So give this a little reflection, take exactly 2 minutes, and we will come back to the session. And questions, we will start with some questions and then we'll jump on to the other theories. Is everyone back?
Yes.
Okay, so assuming everyone's back, and I hope you can understand my writing, but this is what you told me at the beginning, right? When I asked you about why you like a certain subject. And I just tried to classify it into internal reasons and external reasons. If you see, in any case, maximum reasons that you gave me are internal. For instance, you said something is easy to understand. Something made me feel capable, happy. My inclination was that subject. My interest was that subject. I was learning. Applying that subject makes me feel happy. The results were good, made me feel good. I am benefited because of that learning. It was very engaging to learn. But yes, some of the reasons were also about someone in front of you. So maybe you felt that the way it is taught was very interesting, right? You figured that because it is a very visual way of learning, you must have liked it. Some of you felt that my teacher was excellent. Okay. Now, if you were to just classify, you will see that most of the reasons are internal, some are external. But at the same time, if we now go back to the theory that we are trying to look at, the first theory that we looked at or we are looking at right now is the cognitive evaluation theory. The cognitive evaluation theory says that the degree to which we spoke about this as the first principle today, the degree to which the reasons to pursue a goal is consistent with my interest and values adds to my motivation. It is also called the self-concordance theory. For and all of you gave the input, work is satisfactory because of intrinsic factors. And it goes on to suggest that extrinsic factors may actually reduce satisfaction over a period of time. It is possible, if you for 10 years, something right? Maybe if you are continuing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is breaking.
Yes, even I
One second.
I feel the same. Yes.
One second. Is it better now? Better now? No?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's better?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I'm trying to, logged into through two systems. So one for sharing, one for talking. I just need to look at one system. Okay. I'll do that. If it's not better, just interrupt and let me know again, but I hope it's better now. Okay. Hello? No? Did I lose you guys?
Yeah, we are here. We can hear you.
Oh, you are
and we can see the
audible.
screen.
Yes, Niranjan.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So the modern theory, the first one is cognitive evaluation, which mainly talks about intrinsic and extrinsic factors, but it basically gives you two key concepts. Number one, if my interest is equal to my goal, I am motivated. If my if the reason for motivation is intrinsic, then I am more motivated. But there are other theories also which do not deviate from the intrinsic extrinsic model too much, even though they may not say it specifically. So if you see some of the early theories, one common factor between most of the early theories is it is based on needs, either the hierarchy of needs or the what do you call just needs as needs, absolute needs or the hierarchy, whatever, but it is mainly focused on needs. One of the things that you will notice with respect to the modern theories is that it is based on the concept of internal and external factors of motivation. So if you were to extrapolate this to goal setting theory of motivation says that if the goal and the feedback is self-generated, it is far more motivating than someone else giving me my goal and then someone else giving me feedback. Now, can you think of, and some of you, I think mentioned it earlier, where do you see a reflection of the goal setting theory in your current organizations? What do you do? What do you do when it comes to performance appraisal? What is the first thing that you do?
PMS, goal setting.
You do goal setting.
System. Yeah.
How much of your goal setting is something that you decide versus your manager?
So we will have the KPIs. So we have the target versus actuals. So based on that, we will be evaluating ourselves.
Correct. That is the appraisal time. But where does the performance management cycle start today? At what is the first step in any performance management system?
It's
So
Identify your appraiser and your reviewer.
No, that is self-appraisal that happens at the end of the year. I'm saying, what is the first step in performance management in most organizations today, including yours?
setting our KPIs or setting the goals.
Setting goal
Correct.
setting.
In most cases, how do these goals come? Is it bottom up or top down?
Top down.
Top down. Yes.
And do you think top-down goal setting is the most effective way of setting goals?
So actually not, but manager has some expectations. So
Fair enough. But ideally, what would be a better way of setting goals?
aligning with your manager.
Bottom up or top down?
Bottom up. Not top down.
Yet, most goal setting happens today top down, correct?
Yes.
It is what it is, but is it ideal? Probably not. Perhaps a more hybrid way would be better, where top-down high-level goals are cascaded, bottom-up specifics get written down. So for example, if the high-level goal of the HR organization is maintain attrition at X%, that's the high-level goal. You as HR, so that's top down, right? It's come from CHRO to the directors to you, from you to your team members. Okay, fine. That's how it is happening today. And yeah, maybe that's how it is. And for whatever reason, whether ideal or not, that's how it is. But maybe a good midway would be for us to say, okay, give me the high level goal. I will personalize the goal according to my situation, and I will discuss with my manager and say, okay, you are saying X% should be maintained. I would like to customize it and personalize it according to the realities and the context of our local team. So that would be one way for you to have self-generated goals. But in most cases, when it is simply a copy paste from my manager's goals, you will find that such a goal is very hard to achieve and you will not be motivated to achieve it, because again, the locus of control, remember that it's a very, very crucial concept. As soon as the locus of control shifts away from you and moves to another person, you are going to be less motivated to perform that goal. So as long as you see the goal of attrition to be your manager's goal, you're not going to be that motivated to achieve it. The moment you make it your goal, now I'm not saying that everything that your manager says has to be changed, but what I'm saying is that the goal that you get top down, unless you have psychologically accepted it, you will not be motivated enough to achieve it. So I'm not saying that, we stop doing top down. No, that's fine. But it needs to be accepted. It should not just be implemented. It should be accepted. Now, the second thing here is appraisal. Now, this definitely happens in most organizations. Your entire end of the year activity mostly starts with something called a self-appraisal. Am I correct? And this is where goal setting theory is playing very well. What it is saying is that even before your manager is evaluating your performance, you do it yourself. And then submit it to your manager for his or her comments and feedback. To say, okay, I agree with what you did. Okay, I disagree with this. That's fine. But self-generated feedback, which is self-generated appraisal or your self-rating, all of that, the more you do it, locus of control being completely with you, it is going to be a more motivating and beneficial process. Now, the second key concept is higher the goal, higher is the performance. Okay. And you will see this a lot happening in sales organizations. So let's say this year the company has sold 100 phones. Hello? Yeah. Let's say.
Sorry.
No problem. That's fine. As long as you're aware where the sound is coming from, it's fine. Let's say this year you've sold 100 phones and you are a sales team member, and your manager tells, okay, sell 120 next year. Or your manager says, and you agree, that sell 150. So now between 120 and 150, let's assume both are achievable targets. I'm not saying it needs to become 1,000 phones. 120 versus 150, both are achievable for the person. Which goal is going to be more motivating for the salesperson? Is it 120 or 150? Assuming both goals are achievable, they are realistic.
150?
Obviously 150.
150.
150.
But if I go as per theory X and theory Y, it will say 120, no? Because I'll be like, why should I achieve 150 when I have 120?
We get more incentives.
Again, that's reward, but you get incentive after 150. But today you have to accept the goal, right? Today you're just trying to accept the goal. Why will you accept a goal that is when you have a choice? If you don't have a choice, okay, leave it. But let's say you have a choice. Manager says 120. No, I think 150 also you can do. Why is it that 150, It's not a crazy target. It's not like saying 100 needs to become 1000. That would be a crazy acceptance. But in a normal this thing, why would 150 appeal to you more than 120?
It improves his self-confidence.
Yes, correct. And
also it's possible and realistic.
He feels he is capable of doing it.
absolutely. And again, locus of control. Because you're absolutely right. It shows me that I'm confident. I mean, it makes me more confident. It shows me I'm capable. In both these cases, it is a feeling that comes from within to say, oh, wow, this is something I can do. So let me do it. And in both cases, the locus of control is with me. Now, shift it to the other way and say, my manager says, I tell my manager, I will do 120. My manager says, no, I want you to do 150. What is the difference between the first situation and the second?
In the first one, a choice has been given, or at least it's open and not, it's been decided by someone else. Now you make the decision.
Correct.
And second one, he has the control.
Absolutely. So in all the modern theories of motivation, there are two key concepts that you come across. One is internal and external sources of motivation. And the concept linked to this is the locus of control. Because in internal sources, the locus of control is 100% with you. External sources of control, it may be 0%, it may be 10%, it may be 20%, but it is not anything of significant value. So it is the locus of control that determines your motivation level. Right? And the third element in goal setting, and this is an important one. If I were to tell you, this year you did 100 phones. Next year, I want you to do more than that. Versus, this year you did 100 phones. Next year, I want you to do 150. Which is a better goal?
More than that, because I get to choose.
More than that could mean 101 also,
No, on
yeah.
50, 150.
150.
Course.
But
If
if
we
it's,
get the choice, will be the better.
but if it's a specific goal, would it be chosen by me or someone else?
By it, a goal may not always be chosen by you, but a goal needs to be psychologically accepted by you at a minimum. Now, if you can create the goal also, very good, no problem at all. But in most organizations, we see, and we said earlier, it is top-down approach. The CEO of the company will have a goal. It is cascaded to all the vice presidents. The vice presidents cascade it to directors. They cascade it to managers, managers to you. That's how it is. That's the reality of the system. But unless the team member has accepted the goal, then it is a little weird. So the third concept is, even though internal, external sources of motivation matter, even though locus of control needs to be closer to you, the specificity of the goal also matters. Because open-ended means you are actually loosening the locus of control. And I'll tell you why. Do more than 100 phones the next year. More than 100 phones in your mind might be 150 because you're a very high performer. In my mind, it may be 200 as your manager. So tomorrow when I sit for your appraisal discussion, you will say I did more than 100, I did 150. But I will say, sorry, In my mind, more than 100 means 200. Where is now the locus of control gone? It's gone outside of you. Because locus of control specific involves specificity. Open-ended statements like, please do a good job next year. Can that be a goal? What does good job mean? I will turn around and say good job means, instead of 100, you have to sell 1,000 phones. No. Good job means, okay, if you sell 150, it's a good job. If you sell 200, it's extraordinary job. If you sell 250, it is super ordinary job. That's fine. Then you can have the concept of stretch goals and all of that, which we are not getting into. But my point is, open-ended versus specific goals, locus of control is a concept related to specificity. The more open-ended, and which is why goal setting, they say, should be smart. What is smart goal setting? Can anyone take a shot? Somebody who's not spoken so far, perhaps? What's a smart goal?
Sorry. Specific, measurable,
Yeah. After that?
achievable,
Right.
relevant, smart. T for time bound.
Absolutely. So unless a goal is smart, and the first aspect of a good goal is specific, it has to be specific. Because when you have a specific goal, then you know this aspect is in my control. Something open-ended, no. So let's take a shot at this. And this is very important. These two, I mean, all four theories are very important, but what plays out in organizations is, goal setting almost every other day. So take a shot and type it out. Give me one example each of one open-ended goal, one specific goal from your own job profile or what you see around, but preferably for your own job profile. Give me one open-ended, one specific, one line each from everyone. On-time salary processing, is that specific or open-ended? Okay, so we'll give it a minute. Let everyone type it out, and then we'll have a quick discussion on open-ended and specific. Okay. So let's take the example on-time salary processing. I think this came twice. It is specific, but I would still say it is not that specific, because on time could mean different things for different people. Maybe it is better to give a date, because in India we follow a monthly payroll system. So you can say payment of salary on or before 30th of every month. But you're right that, I mean, generally we all understand on time to be by 30th only. But again, between being specific and more specific, it is okay to be more specific, right? But anyhow, you're right. On time is good, but especially with payroll and finances, it's always good to give a date, because that makes it easier. Then we have open-ended, improve candidate experience. Absolutely. Higher within the, yeah, absolutely. That's correct. You know, this improve candidate experience, the reason even after 20 years we are still talking about it is because it is such an open-ended, I say 20 years because that's when I started working, but we're still talking about it because it is so open-ended that anything you do can be said to be improving candidate experience. But the fact is, if you see most people, new hires today, they'll say, yeah, everything was good, but the wait time was too much. Everything was good, but you know what, this happened or that. But the point is open-ended, right? So it's always good to specify it. Achieving 100% unit attainment for both LOBs every month. Yes, that does sound like specific. Um, then you have on time. Yeah, we spoke. Open-ended, improve the chat accuracy of the agent. Yeah, that's very open-ended. Maybe, I don't know, a more better specific way of saying chat accuracy would be, that maybe the number of errors in that chat process should be only so much. Like there cannot be more errors in that. Sorry, there cannot be more than one error in that or two errors, something like that, right? So something very specific. Improve workplace culture. Yeah, another favorite of mine. So it's so open-ended that even the oldest organizations today struggle with culture issues because we've never really gone into measuring workplace culture appropriately, and if you cannot measure it appropriately, there's no way you can improve it. Creating safe space for students. Yes, so open-ended. 20% increase. Yes, specifics. Budget allocation. If that's all you're saying, it may be a bit open, but you could say budget allocation needs to be done by 5th of every month, or budget allocation needs to be done for at least 70% of your planned expenditure. Maybe it can get a bit more specific. Uh, Reducing the percentage of headcount. Yes, that is specific. Ensure, yeah, so absolutely. So I think you have a gist of what we are trying to, what we are trying to say here. Why it is important is because goal setting theory rests on the fact that if you want motivated employees at the workplace, then it is important that you allow as much as possible self-generated goals, self-generated feedback. And self-generated feedback is happening mostly now in companies by the way of self-appraisal. Self-generated goals may be a little difficult, but as HR, all of you have the power to start influencing your managers, saying it's okay for us to get top-down goals, it's fine, but let us allow employees to self-create something, because that would be one way to achieve, goal achievement. Then we said higher the goal, higher the performance. And finally, we also discussed about open-ended and specific goals. We have two more theories to cover, but any questions on cognitive and goal setting theories? No? Okay. See, the major implication of the cognitive theory actually comes around this process of rewards and pay. And therefore, you must.
Niranjan, before going to the next one, can you tell me how it connected with the mission of the organization? How it is connected to the vision and mission?
How are these theories connected to the vision and mission?
Yeah.
I mean, see, a vision mission, of course, is a more philosophical, very high level statement about where the organization needs to go. However, there is a connection one can establish. For example, if the mission of the company is to become a world-class technology provider. Now, mission and vision normally, if you see, will be, like a little open-ended statements, right? But at the same time, the purpose of a mission vision is to give a sense of direction to the organization. It is not to frame your performance goals, but it is to give a sense of direction. Now, the sense of direction mission statements give you is like, we want to be the world's #1 technology company. Then, when you cascade your goals, when you start writing down your goals, when you then further trickle it down, and when you start connecting that with your other systems like pay, merit increases, bonuses, etc., all of that contributes to that mission statement. But you will not be able to establish a direct connection between the mission statement and a motivation theory, because the mission statement is of the organization. The motivation theory pertains to the individual doing the performance. There would be a better connection established between my performance goal and the mission statement of the organization. Fair?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that especially cognitive evaluation, this is not homework per se, but more reflection, because one very contradictory, it's actually not contradictory, because we are saying pay is a hygiene factor. So don't confuse pay with motivation. But this theory specifically suggests that if you are enjoying work today because of the work itself, you just like doing coding, you love doing sales, you like doing interviews in HR, as long as the work is enjoyable for that reason alone, you will continue to be motivated. As soon as the locus of control shifts out and you start saying that, okay, now if I do good sales, I'm going to get incentive at the end of it. That may motivate you for a short period. That may keep you encouraged for a short period of time. It may not necessarily motivate, but think about it, because as HR, I know that the maximum requests or the issues we deal with is when managers connect pay, performance, everything put together, and everything becomes about pay. And this is research theories. These are not just, especially like the early theories, these are documented, researched over nearly 30, 40 years now, which is why they're called modern theories. So important for you to recognize that. In fact, in my previous organization also, and some companies I know do it, they do not combine the performance rating discussion with the increment discussion, with the bonus discussion. So in my own previous company, our performance ratings would be discussed, decided by December. Our bonuses were paid out in March or April, and our increments were in July. So what we had done as a company is we took the cognitive evaluation very seriously, and we said, when you're having a performance discussion, do not club a bonus payout with that. Do not club increment with that. Bonus payout happens in March. Of course, performance is taken as a criteria, but when you put all these events together, then the driver of that discussion becomes pay and bonus and not performance. So that's why many companies, and I don't know how it happens in your companies, but maybe you can tell me, they, sort of do it as separate events, showing the link to each other, but not necessarily linking it at the same time. Linking at the same time possibly does this, that the whole focus of the manager then becomes about how much do I pay you, instead of, hey, with respect to your goal, this is the feedback. Okay, moving on to the next two, theories. And, we will go through these today, like at a very high level, and we will conclude it in the first half of the next session. Because again, motivation theories foundationally are important in OB. And especially these modern theories are even more so. Now, the self-efficacy theory, right? Self-efficacy theory basically goes on to say, and it combines two very popular ones, but it particularly says that if an individual believes in his or her capability to perform a task, okay, if the individual believes in his or her capability to perform the task, that is a way to increase my motivation. Now, in the gaming example that you gave me for cricket, one of you said, I know it very well. I have knowledge of cricket very, very well. I have capability. You know, all these words have come up from you only. I have capability to play this game. I have capability of, I believe I can do it. So when you have that belief, it will lead to self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is a way to promote your motivation level. And how self-efficacy, is increased? It is through the 4 ways. You will be getting the slides anyway, and this is what we will get into a bit of a discussion in the next class also. But in brief, it's enactive mastery, vicarious modeling, verbal persuasion, and arousal. Now, what does enactive mastery, and again, tell me the belief, the second line here refers to individual's belief in his or her capability to perform a task. What is belief? Is it intrinsic, extrinsic?
Intrinsic.
Others believing in you is another thing, but you first have to believe in yourself. Because if others' belief in you led to motivation, then when your manager said, hey, do 150 sales this year or next year, you would have felt good about it. But no, you will not feel. You might do it, but you will be more motivated when the belief comes from you that I can do 150 sales. So if belief is intrinsic, even the self-efficacy theory is focused on intrinsic and extrinsic factors of motivation. Here, it picks on the intrinsic value of belief. Now, enactive mastery is basically when you are doing the same job and you're doing it very, very well. And that happens through experience. Enactive mastery is a function of how many times you have done that job and for how long a period of time. Which is why in India and everywhere in the world, but particularly in India, we always start with the question, how many years of experience do you have? As recruiters, we all ask this question, right? How many years of experience do you have? Because in a way, I want to know that, okay, if you're saying you are a master in HR, if I want to say, oh, this guy is a master in recruitment, if you have done it for 2 years versus somebody who's done it for 5 years, all things considered equal, I would rather go with somebody with higher number of experience because the mastery you get with 5 years is not comparable to 2 years. With me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So belief is intrinsic. Okay. Enactive mastery, we've understood. Gaining experience multiplied by years of experience. Okay. Vicarious modeling. Okay. Now, vicarious modeling is basically where you are seeing someone who's very similar to you, and if that person does a task, you will follow. Tell me one group of people who heavily rely on vicarious modeling for their motivation.
Political leaders?
Possibly, but these people are in everyone's homes. Everyone has it at their home.
Fan base of any actors.
Huh?
fan base, that actor, actress, hero, heroine's fan base, something like that.
Yeah, it's true. What Rama said is also true, but what you're
Parents?
saying is also true. Huh?
Parents?
Parents or children?
So, yeah.
Our kids,
Children's.
our kids.
Your kids. Your kids are the, the biggest actors of vicarious modeling, because children act exactly like their surroundings.
They do learn from modeling it.
Yeah. And which is why when you have children around, you're told, hey, put on your best behavior, because that child will take that. You do something, the child will do exactly that. So vicarious modeling is now in organizational context. Tell me how vicarious modeling works. Have you heard of this thing called buddy system for a new hire? Who is the buddy?
Buddy is a senior employee or
Doing the same or the similar job.
Yeah. Someone they look up to in the initial days, kind of mentor sort of.
Correct. So vicarious modeling happens in the organizational context by way of buddy system. It also happens because in the case of managers, where we say that managers need to be role models. Because especially when it comes to behavior, managers are best at being role models if they expect the team to come. Remember, in one of the first few classes, we spoke of attendance issues, attitudes, and everything. Imagine manager is telling you, come to work on time every day. Manager does not turn up on time every day. What happens? Will the team come? No chance. They will laugh at the manager and say, oh, this guy just doesn't know anything. Right? Then the third element you have is verbal persuasion. Verbal persuasion. 10 o'clock.
सर ये काम ले सकते हैं? मेरा लॉगआउट है.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that. Verbal persuasion. What is verbal persuasion? Have you, I'm sure all of you have gone to a mall. In a mall, you have a lot of these advertisements, right? What are the advertisements trying to sell to you? Or in general, what is an advertisement trying to sell to you? The product, fine, but I'm not talking about the product. I'm talking about the advertisement itself.
Idea, establishment of.
Idea, basically. The idea that we subscribe to, then perhaps automatically will purchase the product or service.
Absolutely, right?
That too in short time.
So verbal persuasion is where they use this concept called the Pygmalion effect, which is believing something to be true makes it true. So when you look at an advertisement, it tells you a lot of things. The reason you actually go and buy that product is because you believe that to be true. And then that becomes part of your reality, at least till the point you buy that product. Something as simple as your manager telling you, hey, you can do it. I believe you. It's a very small example of verbal persuasion. But as soon as somebody tells you, I think you can do it, I trust in you, I think you have the capability or whatever, it happens. I mean, you believe you can do it. In the end, whether it happens or not, we are not talking about outcomes or results here. We're only talking about the persuasive element that leads to an increase in your self-efficacy, which leads to your motivation. So when you enter a cricket stadium, IPL match, whatever cricket stadium you enter, you have everybody cheering on for the country, right? I mean, let's say if it's India playing against Pakistan, for example, or against any country for that matter, all the Indian fans are cheering on, correct? Now, conversely, tell me, nobody's cheering on, everybody's pin drop silence. What happens? The team of 11, do you think they'll win the match?
Unless they're highly motivated themselves.
Yeah, I know.
They
Right? But
suspect themselves.
verbal persuasion helps. Now, verbal persuasion helps as long as you accept it. I mean, imagine somebody cheering you on, you're like, I reject this persuasion. No, it still has to transfer into you accepting it. But my point is, verbal persuasion will mostly come from somewhere outside. But you have to still internalize it. But it helps. And finally, we talk about the concept of arousal, which is, have you gone to, I mean, I have never seen, but I've seen it in the TV, but I don't know in reality. Have you seen a boxing match? Anybody have seen a boxing match in real life?
No.
No one. Okay. But have you seen it on TV at least?
Yeah.
Two people are playing. What are the other people doing?
Watching.
Sorry?
They are watching. They're simply. They are
They're just
encouraging
watching.
them.
Are you
They are
sure?
encouraging them.
Much more than the
Encouraging them.
boxes, maybe.
They are
How are they
encouraging.
encouraging? Can somebody enact that encouragement?
It will be more vigorous when
That
we
was
are.
a nice punch.
Knocked down.
Good
They
shots.
think that they are playing there inside the ring.
Break the nose.
Pushing the boxes.
It's a Tuesday, start of the week. Somebody should enact this. I'm very interested now. James, want to try? How is the vigorous encouragement? How does it look? I think he needs a round of applause. He did it so well. He absolutely needs. Good job, James.
Thank you, sir.
You were on mute at that time, but we saw
Yeah,
your
yeah.
hand movements.
Come on, move on. Come on, give a punch there. Like that. They used to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. So you see those hand movements? That's the concept of arousal. Now, in a boxing match, that's the concept of arousal. Okay. What is arousal? You're energizing someone to do better, pumping it up, the fist. You're like, hey, go on, right? To a large extent, it happens in a cricket stadium also, wherever you need that pumping up of energy, it works, especially when the task at hand is a very challenging one. Boxing, very challenging. Cricket, high stress, very challenging, right? So, four concepts, four elements of self-efficacy is what lead to an increase in it, leading to motivation. We will cover expectancy theory in the next one because again, that's a crucial one. I don't want to rush through it. Also, because I do want to spend very quickly some time in reflections and questions. So, any questions so far up till cognitive goal setting, and then we have seen self-efficacy theory.
Niranjan, one question that
Yeah.
in the inactive mastery, when you explain that, okay, when a person, he or she has to believe in himself or herself that, okay, that person can do it rather than waiting for an external approval, which is in case of the, I think, the third one, I'm forgetting the name. So now, if that is not the case, where people, where perhaps manager says that, okay, he believes in me, that, okay, I can do it. Now, whether I would ultimately end up accepting it in my mind or not. Now, can that be, can it be like this, that that external factor of motivation or someone believing in me is the driving force where I end up believing in myself only after that? But that's not inactive. I know. I mean, I'm not doing it by myself, but because someone has told it, now it's kind of an approval that I've got, and now perhaps I will be able to deliver. So how does that relate to? I mean, these two both, or these are completely independent factor?
So, if I were to ask you, Abhishek, what are you really good at, and what are the things that you don't think you are very good at? Would you know? You will you have an answer in your mind at least about the things that you believe are very good at and things that you're so at? In your mind, would you have an answer?
Perhaps yes, but yeah, I mean, again, that is, I am the kind of judging myself that way. I mean, I
Agree,
don't
agree.
know whether, yeah.
Now, let us say, for example, if you were to ask me, what am I not that good at? Let's say I'm not that good at use of technology. I know that, right? Or I believe that I'm not the best when it comes to use of technology, or I wouldn't know, oh, what are the ways I can make the best use of Zoom. Maybe, let's say Farida is very good at that, but I'm just about okay. Now, you come and tell me, Niranjan, I think you're exceptional at technology. Okay. My self-belief definitely matters more than what you believe in me. Farida, I appreciated you. Why are you sad? So
I'm
myself.
confused. I'm confused. What were you talking about? I was not following you, sorry.
No. I was just saying that you are very good at technology.
Oh my God. Nice to do that.
So my self-belief obviously comes first. It is most relevant. If my self-belief is complemented by your belief, then I will accept it. If my self-belief is contradicted by your belief, then I will be like, why is he saying I'm so good at technology? Is he making, first thing I'll think of is he making fun of me?
Yeah.
Right? So when my self-belief is not in concordance with yours, there will be an element of doubt. I may say, hey, Abhishek, why do you think so? Are you sure? Like, whatever happened, like, then you might be like, no, the fact that you shared your screen and it was so nicely visible to all of us, I am not it. Then I'll be like, okay, that way. Right? But
maybe in that case, the person who is appreciating is not even at that level. And I don't mean to, I mean, say that
possible.
way, but could be.
Could be. It will lead to a lot of questions and self-doubt. Why is Abhishek appreciating something that I only don't think is true?
Yeah, okay.
Now, does it mean that always I need to have a doubt? No. Sometimes it may happen that I have a hidden strength, right? A hidden strength may be that I feel that I am very bad at standing in front of the stage and talking to 1,000 people. But my manager says, no, you are very good at it, do it. That's a case of hidden strength. Now, in probability, out of 100 things, I could have 5 hidden strengths. That's okay. That's where a good leader, and when we come to leadership concept from the next class, we will talk, the good leader helps me to uncover my hidden strength. But if out of 100, 99 are hidden strengths, then I have a big problem of knowing myself, right? So again, we said at the beginning, no absolutes in OB because we are talking of human behavior. So which means, yeah, sometimes I may not believe I'm good at technology, but my manager believes, and he comes and tells me, I think you're super at technology. Maybe I've been very harsh on myself. So it's possible 5 out of 100 times, just as a random number. Okay. Any other questions?
Niranjan, how you know how we can balance desire and goal? You know, but we always connect. My goal will be something, my desire is something. You know,
Yeah.
for example, my fitness is the primary objective, but I want to eat more junk food. So there's always, you know, it goes both the sides. So
Yeah.
how to
So the
take
best way to differentiate is by saying what do I want versus what are my needs. So if my want is I want to be fit, but if my need is that I don't think it's a need, then my want will just remain a desire. As soon as I am very clear about what my wants are and what my needs are, now if fitness has become my need, because let's say, I've reached a certain age and now I know that there's a family history of sugar, diabetes could hit me, then it becomes a need. Automatically becomes a goal. Otherwise, it will just remain a desire.
passion also similarly? Passion, we can make it.
Passion is okay. Passion is a little more personal. I mean, you can be passionate about music. You may not really, it may not be a want or a need or whatever. It's just something that you like listening to because it makes you feel happy and it ends there. It is neither, I mean, you just passionate, things that are passionate are just, okay. I mean, you do it for the sake of it, you enjoy it and you leave it there. It is not consequential. It just makes you feel good and you're done with it. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so I will quickly reflect and then, because it's already top of the hour. We have looked at cognitive evaluation theory today, which mainly focuses on the fact that your locus of control, as and when it shifts from internal control to external control, the motivation reduces. We also looked at internal sources of motivation called intrinsic and external called extrinsic. And we said that the more intrinsic are your sources of motivation, the more likelihood that you will be motivated. The more you give your control to others, less likely that you will be motivated. Then we moved on to goal theory, where we spoke about how having specific goals helps because it is definitely more controllable. We also said that the more goals and feedback is self-created, the more likely you are to be in control and therefore more motivated. And then we came to the self-efficacy theory, where we spoke of 4 ways of increasing your self-efficacy, saying the more your self-efficacy, the more your motivation, right? In the next class, we will conclude on the self-efficacy theory, discussing the 4 elements in a step detail. And thereafter, we will come to the last theory of motivation, which is the expectancy theory, which again is not, you feel like, but it doesn't. It continues to focus on intrinsic, extrinsic. So if with those keywords for the day, we can close. I'll see you all in the next class. Good night and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Niranjan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Niranjan.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Good night.